Certain foods have a correct way of eating them. What are some wrong ways to eat those foods? Eating canned soup by drinking it straight out of the can like a beverage. I definitely know someone that does this with SpaghettiOs. Eating cereal with a fork. Sounds like a challenge when you're out of clean spoons and too lazy to wash anything. Korean thing. People order bibimbap and don't mix it up, then try to eat it with chopsticks. Pretty hilarious to watch. I'm trying to think of an American equivalent to this, but I'm failing. Ordering the grilled fajita plate. Then eat just the meat, then just the rice, then just the tortillas. Finish off with the veggies. Long ago, I ordered fajitas without a clue in the world what a fajita was, so proceeded to do exactly that. I didn't want to look like some kind of uncultured oik who turns everything into a sandwich. Same. First time at a Mexican restaurant and didn't realize the tortillas were in the little covered microwave bowl. The nice waitress came over and politely showed us how you're meant to do it. Holding your cup with your hand inside the cup. Edit. Thanks for the silver stranger. Or holding the cup with your teeth while drinking from it, trying not to spill all over yourself. I perfected this skill as a child. As a kid I would suction a cup to my face and drink like that. It was surprisingly effective. I eventually stopped drinking while doing it, but I kept suctioning cups and glasses to my face until one day I finally had enough beard that the glass couldn't be sealed to my face and it just fell off and shattered. I was 22 and this was in front of my mom, and it was an expensive wine glass. I felt so fucking bad. My sister is a freak of nature, and she eats her banana kind of like corn on the cob. She will peel the banana halfway and then scrape the sides with her teeth making it shiny, and then she would eat the center remains. I think she should have been put up for adoption. Edit. I will say she's smart enough to not do this in public. She does this in the privacy of being at home where her family can shame her. I love this comment because it truly captures what it feels like to have a little sister do weird shit. She my older sister by 12 years. I'm 23 and she's 35. Once I had a substitute teacher just drink an entire bottle of steak sauce. One go. In my personal opinion, there is no right way to consume steak sauce, but that man found one of the worst. Seeing it slowly glug 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 down his throat, its pure viscosity making each swig a concentrated effort, was absolutely horrifying. I never wish to see something that unpleasant again. Lol, that was coffee and there he was fucking with y'all. God, I've never hoped someone was right so hard before. Hard-boiled egg, still in its shell. Just swallow it whole. What are you, a snake? One day I was walking home, and a friend was walking the same path. He was the kind of troublemaker kid who was genuinely funny, and knew when to actually stop when things got too far. This time he didn't. I gave him my orange, and he said thanks, right before eating it like an apple. I almost fell over by how disgusting it was. He didn't flinch. He didn't spit out the peel. He didn't do anything. It was so wrong. That was a free $50 challenge at my high school. Eat a lime in 5 bites with the peel on. I made that $50 easily. Edit. Yes. More than 5. It was to maximize the bitterness. I didn't make the challenge. I just participated. Edit 2. Yes. $50. The guy was in our MTG group. $50 was not very much to him. The one time I ate a lime like an apple I lost feeling in my mouth for a day. Reminds me of when I used to leg batteries. My first generation Italian wife prepared spaghetti for me before we were married. I asked if she cared how I ate it. She was like, no, so I asked for a knife and fork and cut it up. She was mortified. When I studied abroad there were some Italian guys in my dorm. They watched me make spaghetti for dinner one night. As soon as I broke the noodles in half, before putting them in the pot they were upset with me. Upsetty, you broke the spaghetti. Edit. My first day on Reddit. I don't know what goldies, but thank you all. Chomping the whole artichoke leaf. Or just sitting there with a spoon and scraping all the edible bits into a bowl and eating them all at once. That's such a gross mental image. Now put ranch on it. I had a friend in high school who would eat a taco in the most peculiar way that I'm at a loss to easily describe. He started by taking a huge bite out the top middle, then he would eat the little flaps around his bite mark, and take another bite out of the middle, and nibble off the edges again. When all the lettuce, tomato, and cheese parts were gone, and it was just a little tortilla boat of meat. He would just eat that all in one go. I should mention that the last I heard about him there was speculation he was now working for the CIA. He's gonna have his cover blown when he tries to get his mark at a taco joint. You got the money? Yeah, I got TH. What the fuck? What is it? That fucking guy eating the taco over there. I do care who what it takes. I want that man and his tacos dead. 1. You open the Doritos bag. 2. You grab some Doritos. 3. You lick the Doritos. 4. All the flavor no carbs. Please don't do this. My ex-wife used to do exactly this. One by one, she'd take a Dorito out of the bag, lick all of the flavoring off of both sides, then put it in a bowl. When she was done, she'd give the bowl to the dog and let her eat the chips. Yeah, no wonder you divorced her, lol. He didn't really have a choice at that point. How do you work through something like that? I'm eating my dessert. How do you eat it? With your hands. George Constanza eating a Snickers bar with a fork and knife. The look on his face when he says that is everything. The look of utter disgust at the peasants not being as sophisticated as himself makes the scene. My friend from the Middle East made dolmas for a mutual friend of ours. She dropped them off and then left. Not knowing what they were, he peeled the grape leaves off and ate the inside. I tried to tell him he was supposed to eat the whole thing, and he didn't believe me. When she found out he ate them that way, she got really upset, since she spent all that time rolling the dolmas only for him to just eat the filling. I did that with cabbage rolls as a kid, not knowing I was supposed to eat the cabbage. Grandma was livid. Lol. I've since mended my ways and the cabbage makes it extra fucking delicious. Well, when I was a kid, until I was much older than I should have been, I would only eat the fillings of pies, use the crust as a dish, scrape it clean, and leave it on the plate. This made me giggle. I thought I was the only one doing that. My very Anglo grandparents came to visit when I was 5 and took me and my sister out to eat at our favorite Mexican restaurant. We all ordered tacos, hard shell. They proceeded to cut the tacos with a knife and fork. I proceeded to exhale chewed up tacos out my nose because I couldn't stop laughing. One time I saw some very posh European friends eat the before dinner bread with a knife and fork. I think about it every time I get bread at a restaurant now. I don't think that is high etiquette for bread. It's not. Carbonated beverages with your mouth sealing the bottle. Good way to get pressurized CO2 in your nose. My wife drinks everything from a bottle this way. Slams it back like Napoleon Dynamite chugging Gatorade after an intense dance sesh. It's the little things that keep love alive. I had a step-grandmother do that and complain because glass bottles were so difficult to drink from. Like, how do you hit 70 and not know how to drink from a bottle? Nobody ever explained it to me. I worked out I was doing it wrong at 15. I was eating ramen noodles with my friends and my Asian friend laughed because I would twirl the ramen in the ladle/spoon thingamajigger like I would with spaghetti. I was featured on her Snapchat story real quick. And yet I often see Vietnamese diners do this at our local pho place. So, the polite way to eat pho is to use the chopsticks to place the noodles onto the spoon, then place a little bit of meat, veggies etc. and scoop up a little soup for your perfect bite that includes everything. Not everyone eats like this. My mother does, while my father just shovels it all in his mouth. It's like cutting steak. There's a proper way, etc. Vietnamese eating culture is totally different from the Japanese. I could never pass in polite Vietnamese society. I'm generally real close to just going face down in a bowl of pho most days. Eat ramen block dry with the seasoning. I used to do it all the time in elementary school. Just make sure you have something to drink. Did that in elementary too. Open it up, empty the seasoning into the package, close the package as best you can, and then smash it up and shake it around. 4th grade was fun. My cousin convinced me to try this once when my mom was driving us somewhere. She also once convinced me to drink the vinegar from the dipping bowl at my grandma's house. And we also used to play this game she called Shit Hits the Fan, where she took the front cover off a large, high-powered fan, and we'd throw stuff into the fan blade while it was at full power. It's a miracle I never got a pen through my eye. Anyway, I eventually learned to stop and think about whatever she tells me to do instead of just going along with it. Shit hits the fan sounds exactly like games my sister, my cousins, and I used to play. My sister and I had a game where we actively tried to trip someone off of our parents' very high bed. And another where we just smacked skulls together with increasing strength until one person pussied out.